Okay, I am testing this out. We're going to talk about the reprogramming shift. I'm going to go back and forth. Looks like I'm live. Let me see if I know how to mute this part. Okay. We're going to get started shortly. And we are going to talk about the reason why this GLP-1 weight loss course is different from any others that you have had before, because I am combining, if you watch the introduction, the law of attraction with weight loss. I haven't seen this done before, but I believe that everything in your life stems from the law of attraction. Everything that you think about, that you bring about, everything that comes into your life, you have manifested into your life. And so, why is this important when it comes to weight loss? Tell me if this sounds like you. You've done all the things, you've dieted, exercise, you've tracked your macros and your calories, and there's something still missing and something feels like it's not clicking. That's exactly where the reprogramming shift and law of attraction come in. If diets and workout plans were all it took to lose weight and keep it off, you wouldn't be here right now, frustrated and stuck. You already know what to do inherently, right? You're stuck because something deeper is missing inside you and within you. You keep going back to square one, you lose some weight, and then something holds you back, and you regain those 5 or 10 pounds. And it's extremely frustrating. I truly believe that in order to be successful, not only do we work on our bodies, but we work on our minds as well. And we need to completely shift our mindset something that we've never done before. If you think about it, depending on how long you've been struggling with your weight, depending on how long you've been struggling with weight loss, all of those beliefs, everything that you've learned about exercise and dieting and eating, that comes from years and years of programming, whether that be from your mother, your peers, TV. If you're like me, if you grew up in the 90s, skinny was definitely in, and people took to the extremes to lose weight. If you've been in the keto world, of course, I know so many people that have done that, just the excessive cardio world. All of those things over the years have been programmed into our mind and to let you know that this is what it takes in order for you to lose weight. And so that has stuck with us throughout all these years. So what I'm doing is I'm inviting you to do the work, just as important as it is to stick to your diet and workout plans and stick to your regimen. It's also so important to work on our mindset shifts. Weight loss doesn't just require a meal plan, it requires a mindset shift. Most women are operating with the same thoughts, fears, and identities that we've had for decades. So even when your body starts to change, your beliefs stay the same. And that's completely opposite of what we want. We want our body changing along with our beliefs about ourselves, because the way that we speak to ourselves does matter. And a lot of the times, that's why you end up regaining the weight, because it becomes self sabotage. And I'm speaking from experience because this has happened to me throughout the years. If I finally reach close to my goal weight, something inside me flips and something tells me that, oh my gosh, I haven't been this light or haven't been this weight in so long. And for some reason, subconsciously, I'll do something to sabotage it, or I won't continue that route. And so I've learned to go against that. And I'm going to teach you how to do that throughout this course. Let me ask you something. Have you ever followed a meal plan, lost weight, and then gained it all back, even though you promised yourself this time it wouldn't be different? Me too. I explained that to you because the problem wasn't the plan itself. The problem was the programming, what was going on in your mind, your identity, and your beliefs. We've been taught that weight loss is about calories, cardio, and willpower. But here's what I've learned from my own journey and from coaching so many women like you. I want you guys to let this sink in, okay? If your mind doesn't change, your body never truly will, because your body follows your thoughts. And this is where the law of attraction comes in. If you don't let yourself, you always end up reverting back to those beliefs where I'll never be a size 8 or I'll never be a size 10. It's been so long. You end up self sabotaging and it becomes a self fulfilling prophecy. So we want to get out of that mindset and only speak positively about the things that are happening in our lives. Think like the women. Here's what it means, okay? Here's what it means to step into how you want to be and how you want to live. Think like the women who already fuels your body with confidence. I know sometimes this can be hard because for many of us, we've been overweight for most of our lives. We're very self conscious. We are used to wearing bigger clothes, hiding ourselves. But for a minute, I want to invite you to step into your future self and how that would look like for you. I want you to act, think, feel, and talk like her. And I want you to, and the important part of this is to forget about what everybody thinks around you, forget about other people's opinions. Inherently, you're doing this for you, and you're doing this to benefit you in the long run. I want you to move like the woman who respects your strength. I want you to speak to yourself like someone who loves yourself enough to just keep showing up for yourself on a daily basis. I want you to visualize your goals until they feel like done deals. And this is where these worksheets that I'm going to provide for you will come in handy, because it's going to give you something tangible, something that you can post somewhere and always look at, something that you could always look over on those days when you feel like you're not losing weight, or on those days when you feel like you're not making progress. Because believe it or not, no one's perfect. And we all have those days where we are frustrated at where we're at when it comes to weight loss. But I don't want you guys to get discouraged. Each day, I want you to just keep moving forward and keep visualizing your future self. At first, it's going to look funny, or it's going to sound funny, or you might not even believe it for yourself, because I've gone through this as well, where you're like, oh, okay, great. Here I am talking about how I want to be my future self. And I don't believe it at first. But after a week of consistently doing it every day, you start to believe it. Trust me. Just give it a week. Put a reminder on your phone and make a promise to yourself that you will read about what your future self will look like. You'll write it down and you'll repeat it to yourself. You'll post it on the mirror, post it somewhere. Will you at least glance at it every day? And you will slowly start to see that your mind will start to shift. Visualize your goals until they feel like they are done. Rewire your brain, those old beliefs that have kept you stuck for years. And again, this is not going to happen overnight, because if we have spent years and years talking down on ourselves, talking bad about ourselves, it's not going to happen overnight. But I just want you guys to stay consistent with it. But this isn't magic, okay? This is not woo, as some of you might think. This is all about neuroscience. Neuroscience meets intention. This is repetition means self-respect. Repetition. This is activating your reticular activating system, where if you think about something enough, it's going to start showing up ways in your life that you can make it work. This is the shift that creates lasting change. It's not another rule that you're going to have to follow. It's not going to be another let's start over on Monday. It's going to be a new operating system rooted in self-trust, alignment, and belief. And don't worry, we're going to go over, all the important parts of nutrition, how to train properly, how to go get past plateaus, and how to be on maintenance. But this is why you joined this course. And this is why I'm so eager to get this out there to you guys, because this is something completely different from what's been out there. And this is really, truly sitting down and working on our mindset. So, why the standard rules don't work and what does, and why the rules fail. How many times have you said, I know what to do, for some reason I just can't stick to it? You've probably followed plans before, the Whole30, calorie counting, keto, but here you are still searching for something that lasts. And now you're sitting here on a GIP or a GLP-1. GLP-1s make it easy to eat less, but that doesn't mean you are eating right. When you're not hungry, it's easy to skip meals or forget to fuel your body, which leads to strength and energy loss. You need a new approach, not one based on following rules, but on becoming someone who thinks, eats, and moves differently. Again, this all starts with our mind. So, what is going to work instead? So, number one, identity based habits. And of course, I'll go over this and explain what all this means. Flexible nutrition structure so that we are not finding ourselves binging on the weekends, rewiring your thoughts and routines, shifting your focus from discipline to alignment. Reprogramming equals long-term success. And this is prevents us from going back to starting over and losing and gaining the same 5 or 10 pounds. We don't need more rules. We just need rewiring. This is what we'll work on together. Okay. So, why rules don't work and what does? Let me ask you something. How many times have you followed a plan, lost weight, and then gained it right back? How many times have you said, I know what to do, I just can't seem to stay consistent? That's not because you're lazy. It's not because you lack discipline. It's because the rules were never designed for your real life. They don't account for your stress, your hormones, your fatigue, your schedule, your emotional eating patterns, or your changing midlife metabolism. And when you add a GLP-1 medication into the mix, things get even more complicated. Sure, you're eating less, but that doesn't mean you're eating well. In fact, a lot of women lose weight and muscle, they feel weaker and then not stronger. And why? Because we've been taught to follow rules and not to build habits. And when you rely on rules, you're relying on willpower, restriction, shame, all or nothing thinking. But what actually works, we go back to that word called reprogramming. Reprogramming your thoughts, your habits, and your identity. This is the heart of long term transformation. In this program, I'll teach you how to build identity based habits so that you naturally act like the woman you want to become. Create a structure without rigidity. Use mindset tools that make you feel empowered, not restricted. And live in alignment with your goals, even when life gets chaotic, because you don't need to be perfect. You need a system that works even when you're not. And that's exactly what we're going to build here together each and every day. I'm going to get feedback from you guys. I'm going to create lives, Q&As, so that we can dive deeper into this whole reprogramming and mindset shift. So your homework for today is to take a moment when you're in a good headspace and fill out the future self worksheet. You will do this once, but you will look over this worksheet often to remind yourself of who you want to become. It does not have to be related to fitness or weight loss, just anything to help you better visualize what your future would look like. So let's get on to what your new operating system looks like. And this is the explanation of our new foundation, okay? So the old system, it focuses on restriction, not nourishment. It encourages over-exercising, not recovery or strength building. It ignores mindset, and mindset is the make or break factor of everything in your life. We are going to switch to our new operating system. This is us. This is our new identity. This is what we are going to embody and practice every day. For nutrition, you're going to be focused on fueling your body and not depriving it. So just to break it down for you guys even further, we are not going to be afraid to eat and to fuel our bodies. What I'm finding working with women on these medications is they are thrilled that they can only eat one meal a day at their own. They're barely eating. They're eating 500 calories per day. And I'll tell you right now, that is not the answer, because that is going to be detrimental to long-term success. Consistently eating 500 to 800 calories a day. Yes, of course, you will see quick initial weight loss, but as we discussed earlier, this is not the way to go. Quick weight loss will lead to quick weight regain and plateaus over and over again. So we need to focus on fueling our bodies properly. I have many tips and tricks for eating more food when your appetite is just not there. And it's all in the modules below. But we want to focus on, remember, fueling our body the proper way and not celebrating that we're only eating 500 calories per day. We need to fuel our bodies. And that is why women come to me and tell me that they are, that Their energy levels are low. That's why women come to me and say that they haven't gone to the bathroom in 3 days. It's because we are not putting enough fuel in our body, and essentially our body is eating away not only fat, but our muscle as well, and we do not want this to happen. So that's just a little my little side note. Movement based on building strength, confidence, and energy and not burning calories. So forget about doing 60 minutes of cardio per day and counting your calories on your watch and celebrating when you burn 500 calories on the treadmill or in that boot camp class. There is a time and place for cardio and that boot camp class, but in this program, we are prioritizing strength training over everything else. Now, is this the only way? No, it's not the only way to build muscle, but this is the preferred method over so much research on women and strength training and the benefits of strength training and aging, that picking up those dumbbells and strength training is the best way to go for the long run. And the big thing, right? Mindset, rewiring the beliefs that keep you stuck and becoming the woman who lives the life she wants. So let's say this is what it's going to look like. Part of our routine every day is going to be knowing what we're going to eat, exactly what we're going to eat that day so that we hit our calorie goals, knowing the exact workouts that we're going to do that day and scheduling it in our planner as if it were an important meeting so that we know exactly what to do. And then number 3 is working on something with our mindset. So I haven't thought of it completely, but I know we're going to do some reprogramming shifts, a lot of journaling, a lot of internal work. And that is always the missing piece because you can work on your nutrition and you can do your workouts, but let's not forget the biggest piece and what makes this program entirely different, because we are going to be working on what's up here, because that is going to give us the lasting results. So I told you that I would go back to my notes. What do identity-based habits look like? And I kind of explained how this would look like, right? I'll use a couple examples. So let's say, oh my gosh, I don't want to start weight training. I feel like I'm so behind. I've never touched a dumbbell or gym equipment in my life. I don't know what to even do or how to start. So an identity-based habit would be everyone started somewhere. Everyone started as a beginner. Even the fittest person that you see out there started at 0, and look where they're at now. So this goes into visualizing of where you want to be, how you want to look like. How does your body look? How do you feel feeling strong, not getting winded when you're going upstairs? How does it feel to carry your 2 and 3-year-old and not have your arms hurt after 5 seconds? How does it feel to have energy to do all the chores that you need to do, plus work a full-time job? So you feel confident, energized, you sleep amazing, you wake up amazing with so much energy because you have put muscle on your body. And you are the person that works out, and you are the person that knows how to lift weights and what to do in the gym, because you are going to learn it here and I'm going to teach it to you. So what would that person look like? That person looks like they lay out their gym clothes in the morning. So as soon as they jump up in bed, they put on their gym clothes without giving it much thought. They go downstairs and have a protein-rich breakfast. That's what it looks like for you. So start doing those things. So that's one example of an identity-based habits. You have your gym clothes ready. You already know what high protein breakfast you're going to have. And then you keep doing that until it sticks. Flexible nutrition structure. This, I really want to go over what this is like, because having flexible nutrition means you are not cutting out more and more carbs, because that's not the answer. Because what's going to happen when you have a birthday party or a work party to go to and there's delicious bread or there's delicious cake that you're going to have, you are not going to deprive yourself of it. I'm going to teach you how to track macros so that you have room. If you want to have dessert every night, you will have room for dessert every night, because this is what flexible dieting is all about. I'm not about restriction. I'm not about just having you eat protein and vegetables for all 3 meals. I want you to have a balanced nutrition goals, because in the end, when we our minds, when we deprive ourselves of something, it's just easier to go ahead and have that piece of ice cream or piece of cake and just go on with your life instead of think about it for hours and hours and for even days. Just have that piece of cake, be satisfied, learn to be satisfied with a piece of cake and move on. And that's how we we retrain our brains that, hey, I'm having this piece of cake. I'm not going to fret over it. I'm not going to obsess over it. And then we are going to move on with our day. And it's taken me a while to do that as well, too, because I used to restrict my eating so much. And I would feel guilty if I had chips and salsa plus dessert at a restaurant. And I would think about it out before and it would give me anxiety. And then I would think of it after and it would give me anxiety. And then I think about maybe I should go work out since I had those chips, salsa, and cake. Maybe I should go run for 30 minutes. And that is just the mindset that we don't want to have. What we're going to do is we're going to balance everything in our lives, that there is room for treats in our lives. Okay. We're not going to restrict ourselves. I find that when I stopped restricting myself so much, the cravings for sweets and high fat foods subsided. So I just give myself permission to have a couple chips, some chips and salsa here and there, a piece of cake here and there. And when I give myself permission to do that, the guilt, I don't have that in my brain anymore. I don't even think about it. Okay. So that's how we rewire our thoughts. Let's see, rewiring your thoughts and routines. So you've probably heard of habit stacking. And this is one of the things that we will go deeper into. And I think, yeah, I did a live with some students before on habit stacking and how to create these new habits for ourselves. So essentially, we're going to pair one habit that we already do with something else. For example, every night, and people always use the teeth brushing example, but every night I brush my teeth. After I brush my teeth, I get my gym clothes ready. So I always go to the gym early in the morning and I change out into my work clothes. So that's my routine. Brush my teeth, get my gym clothes ready, put it out, and then I pack all of my work clothes into my bag and then I roll my bag downstairs by the door so it's ready to go. Another habit stacking thing that I do is I know mornings are hectic for us. And so I don't have a lot of time to prepare everyone's breakfast. And so what I do for myself is I already make my protein shake. I already have my partial lunch that I'm going to pack in the fridge, packed and ready to go. So that's habit stacking. So I already prepare my kid's lunch for school. So while I'm doing his, I prepare my lunch as well too, so that I know what I'm going to have the next morning. So that's what we are going to work on, right? And we'll go deeper into that. And we don't need more rules. Again, we just need rewiring in our brains. So we're going to shift our focus from discipline to alignment. So alignment is such a deeper subject that goes into the law of attraction, but essentially the gist of it is if something doesn't feel right, that I'm not going to do it for myself. For example, there was this whole CrossFit phenomenon, right? Years and years ago, and everyone was doing CrossFit. There were so many people that were fit with CrossFit. And I thought to myself, oh, I should do CrossFit. And I did 2 introductory classes and I tried to force myself to love it because that's what everyone was doing. But in the end, I found myself that I just didn't like it. Like I dreaded going to the class. I didn't see anything fun about it. So it was not in alignment with my wants and my needs and what I wanted for myself. So if it's not in alignment with what you want, just because it's trendy or it's something that you think you should be doing, you should do it for yourself. For example, let's take the GIPs and GLP-1s, okay? Just because so many people are telling you you should do the GLP-1s because it works on two hormones instead of one. And it's more expensive for a lot of people, right? Just because your friends and family and people are on the GLP-1s doesn't mean that you should start with that. You can start. I started with some semaglutide and I got great results from it. I did oral semaglutide and I got great results. And I did it. And then my doctor was saying, oh, you should start on the GLP-1s because it works on 2 hormones. And I'm like, no, I feel like I should just start on this one and let's see where it goes. So it's essentially cutting out the noise from everyone and everything around you, and really asking yourself what feels right to you in your next steps. And again, we're going to go deeper as we go into those modules. So, yeah, that's a quick introduction of how our new operating system works and what the reprogramming shift looks like. So, we touched on bits and pieces here and there. I kind of did a quick rundown of each one. But as we get deeper into the course and as I do more lives and talk to you guys, we are going to go deeper into the ones that we need to go deeper in. So that is all I have. I will end this now and I'll see you guys next time.